Michael O'Leary, the candid lug of cheap-cost airline company Ryanair, has been no unknown to debate. Mr. O'Leary, who comes of a rich backdrop, went to the identical landing high school how James Joyce previous visited, Clongowes Timber School. Yet, the similar elements among the two cute lot end down there. He does not include rather the identical rotate of sentence as Mr. Joyce did. Same's in fact developed, if you love, a new segment in aircraft, that is human beings who, in procedure to rescue else £10, £15 are readily to expend to several hours on a bus receive to and of an aeroport, and expend part of how save occasionally on a bus travel expenses same's advanced a marketplace. These human beings are more than cost susceptible rather than whatever else, and thus they take the word misuse how they get occasionally. Mr. O'Leary has as well been a vocals reviewer of Brexit, possessing length been worried on the effect on air journey among the UK and the EU, and concerned on the opportunity of a difficult boundary among Northern Ireland and the Republic of Ireland. Following outgoing trio school in Dublin, Mr. O'Leary learned as a tax bookkeeper in a company that became portion of KPMG. He was after involved by Tony Ryan, whose sons were as well educated men at Clongowes. Mr. Ryan done his luck lease plane in the 1970s and 1980s, up installation up Ryanair in 1985 as a little airline company operational among Waterford and Gatwick. The business got in difficult situation since of top expenses and low occupant numbers up Mr. O'Leary united in 1988 as head finance official. He initially said Mr. Ryan to fair close the airline company downward, but as a recent refuge, Mr. O'Leary tested a cheap fare pattern, ditching industry grade in favor of a size-fits-all attitude. Mr. O'Leary became head execution in January 1994. So which was the open secret of Ryanair's and Mr. O'Leary's successful? He will cut fares to everything it conducted to get human beings on his planes, says freelance journey text editor Simon Calder. He has lost future rather than any some airline company lug in regulation of fare cut, Mr. Calder says, addition how Mr. O'Leary has and possession on expenses. Ryanair intermittent expenses in lot ways, consisting receive passengers to verify in on the internet or pay for making so at the aeroport, charge for setting mind in the conduct, and charge customers who wish to select seats. And it has been a really advantageous and famous pattern. Flying to include not been lucky in pay and work facility. In spite the controversies, Simon Calder says on a private standard Mr. O'Leary is completely adorable and a very interesting and exciting man. Yet, he adds, I'm not certainly if I'd include rather the identical relation if I in fact treated for Ryanair.